Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Beatrice and this is a short yoga practice for anyone that's a runner or anyone that wants to stretch and move through the lower body. So all you need is a couple of blocks. If you don't have blocks, as always, you can grab books, and whenever you're ready, come and practice with me. Let's get straight into the practice with a little bit of a sole of the foot stretch, a toe stretch. So we're coming up onto all fours. And as always, take it as your body wants it. So if there's any pain, please stop. And stop whenever you feel the stretch. So tuck your toes under and begin to bring the hips back towards the heels. Notice how you feel as you go there. And if this is enough, stay here. Otherwise, begin to walk the hands back towards your knees. Maybe you can get them all the way off the ground and onto your thighs. If you come all the way up here, roll the shoulders away from the ears and look down towards the ground. We'll start with a little bit of grounding. Doesn't matter if you're down on your hands, same thing. You can close your eyes or just have a soft gaze down in front of you. Just a few moments to connect with our breath. Sending the breath into the belly. Breathing fully in and out. Taking just 2 more full breaths. And then slowly beginning to bring the hands down to the ground if we haven't yet. Untucking the toes, tapping them down, releasing the stretch. And then from here, sitting back to the heels if that's available for you. Otherwise, you can skip this one if your knees feel uncomfortable doing this. So you can sit back towards the heels, bring the hands back towards your feet and lean back, stretching into the front of your ankle. Same thing, you can close your eyes, take 2 deep breaths. And then slowly come back through center. Come up onto your hands and knees, take the hands under your shoulders, spread the fingers wide and plant all fingertips down to the ground. Make sure there's no pain in the wrists. And then from here, just slowly and gently beginning to roll through the length of the spine. Inhale, tip the belly down, tailbone up, open the chest. Exhale, drop the head, press the hands down to the ground, round your shoulders, and travel all the way down the spine into the tailbone. Inhale from the tailbone into the chest. Exhale from the head into the tailbone. Press the ground away from you. Spread the shoulder blades apart. Inhale, come through to center and lengthen the right leg back. Tuck your toes. Press the heel to the back of the mat or to the back of the room. Stretch into the calf. Come through to center, lift the leg and place it to the left. Maybe look over to find your right foot with the gaze. Toes are still tucked to the ground, stretching into the side body. And if you want a little bit of movement, you can gently swing forwards and backwards. Notice how that feels. Trying to keep pressing the ground away from you, bringing the leg back to center and moving to the other side. Left leg back. First, tucking the toes and pressing the heel back. Coming through to center and bringing that leg across over the right. Maybe looking over your right shoulder to find your left foot. And if you want to, initiating a movement forwards and backwards. Coming through to center and preparing our base for downward facing dog. Spreading the fingers out wide, planting each fingertip down, tucking our toes. And when we're ready, slowly lifting the hips up and back into a first downward facing dog. Pressing into the fingertips, bringing the shoulders back into their sockets and finding that strength and stability through them as we lengthen the whole back. And maybe swinging the hips from side to side, bending one knee at a time, feeling any movement that works for your body. From here, making our way up to the front of our mat, taking it step by step, so one foot in front of the other. So as we do it, we're stretching to the back of the legs. Reaching the top, halfway lift, take the hands to the shins, open the back, open the chest, stretch, lengthen the spine. And as we exhale, coming down to fold, holding onto opposite elbow, bending the knees as much as we need to, and maybe moving from side to side. Trying to relax the jaw. Maybe even closing and opening for a couple of times. And then taking the hands down to the ground, bending the knees if we need to, stepping the right leg back. Starting here, this is where you're going to need your blocks. So take them either side of your foot and come up onto the block with the hands. And just rock forwards and backwards. Let the hips almost sink down towards the ground. Stretching into the hip flexors, but opening the chest, maybe even coming up onto the fingertips. And then from here, drop that back knee down to the ground. Exhale, shift the hips back. Bring the front foot up towards the sky, so the toes point up into a half split. Maybe exhale and fold over your front leg. If you don't need blocks, you can always remove them now and bring the hands either side of your leg. From here, inhale, come forward, drop the hips. Exhale here, inhale, begin to shift back, and exhale to fold. Inhale forward, open the chest, exhale, drop the hips. Inhale, shift back, exhale and fold. Inhale, come through to center, tuck your back toes, raise the knee, and from here take a small twist, right hand down, left arm up. Exhale, take that left hand down and step forward into your forward fold. Maybe reach for opposite elbow once again and see how you're feeling now we've done one side. Maybe straighten one knee at a time. Let the head be heavy. Take the hands down and step the left leg back, starting with the blocks either side of your foot. Lifting up onto the blocks, lifting the chest, coming up onto the fingertips, rocking forwards and backwards. And then bringing that knee down, beginning to shift the hips back towards the heels, lifting the toes to point up to the sky. Staying here or exhaling to fold over your right leg. Maybe at this point, if you want to, removing our blocks and beginning to flow between the two. Inhale, come forward, drop the hips. Exhale. Inhale back, exhale fold. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale, come forward. This time, plant the hands down, tuck your back toes, and instead of stepping forward into dangling or forward fold, we step back into a downward facing dog. Pressing our fingertips to the ground, rolling the shoulders back, letting the head drop. And again, maybe swinging the hips from side to side, bending one knee at a time. You can also raise up onto the toes, drop the heels to the left, rise up to the toes and drop the heels to the right. Come through to center, take a breath here. And then from here, let the knees come down to the ground. And we're moving into Gomukhasana leg or legs or cow legs. So you can do it from here. I'll show you two different options, or you can do it from seated. So from here, left leg stays as it is, right leg comes behind. Open the left foot out to the side, right foot out to the left. And then sit back. You can sit on the ground or grab a block and prop yourself up on the block, making sure that both hips are staying on the surface beneath. So either on the block or on the ground. This is one way to get here. Other way is to, instead from all fours, come to seated. And you can take half or full version. So in this case, left leg is forward, right leg is in, and then crossing that right leg over and seeing how you feel. And you can stay here if you want to. Otherwise, you can let that left leg bend as well and come to the full version. Holding onto opposite foot or maybe folding forwards, wherever you are. Now taking 3 deep breaths. Inhale to lift back up to seated. And if you have entered this from seated, lean back, uncross the legs, and just move to the other side. If you have entered from all fours, same thing, uncross, but this time return up to all fours and move to the other side. So this time the left leg is underneath, wherever you are. Right leg is on top. And we sitting back. Same thing, choosing to stay here, maybe holding on to opposite foot, or maybe folding forwards. Inhale, lift yourself back up. And wherever you are this time, we come into seated. Doesn't matter how you enter the pose. Uncross the legs. Come into either sit on a block or on the ground, or maybe on the edge of a blanket. And take the feet out to the sides. It's coming into a wide-legged straddle. Flexing the feet and noticing how we feel here. If we can stay here and lengthen the back without rounding down and falling forward, that can be enough. If this is a lot for you and you already feel sensation in the inner thighs, stay here. Otherwise, begin to walk the hands forward and stop whenever you feel sensations. We take 5 deep breaths here. Let the head drop and keep flexing the feet. On our inhale, lifting ourselves back up to seated, leaning back, maybe holding onto the back of our thighs so we can bring ourselves to center. And either finish with the soles of the feet to the ground and knees bent. Maybe you hold your knees to keep your spine upright, or you can come to cross-legged or easy pose or sukhasana. And just take a moment to observe your breath. Staying with your breath for as long as you need to. If you want to close your practice, invite the palms to meet together at your heart and thank yourself for this time on the mat. Thank you very much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed this practice and that you will join me again soon. Thank you again.